Hello team, welcome back. Until date, we have seen a couple of things about the extent report. We have generated the extent report, we have generated the steps in the extent report, we have modified the theme, and there is a lot of things which we have seen or implemented about the extent report. And from this lecture, we will see the actual integration of the TestNG and the extent report. Although till date as well, we are executing the test case via TestNG, but we will discuss about some practical examples and some real life problems. So we will open the code editor and I will create one more package over here, TestNG extent. And in this package, I will create a new Java class, extent initialization. Right, this is the Java class we created, extent initialization. Over here, let's create a function, public void login test case or login test. And I will declare this as a @test annotation. Import the @test annotation from the TestNG. Now let's do one thing. Let's copy any test from the previous report like the sample extent. Right, I will copy this content and paste it here. And instead of the multiple tests, let's keep we are executing only one test like this. But we will modify the definition. Let me close the unnecessary file so that it will not create the confusion. Right, we have just one file and we will keep the report name index.html. The configuration is standard. The extent report name is my sample report and the document title is my extent report. Then we are creating a test case. Let's keep the test case name like Facebook login test. Passing the username, checking the password, click on the submit button, test success and flush the report. This is the basic test case, right? I will remove the other HTML files from my project. And if I will execute this particular and if I will save this and execute this as a TestNG test, run as TestNG test executed, refresh my project, you see index.html got created. Let's open this and we can see that the Facebook login test got created and this is the extent report which is opening within my local machine, right? The URL is from my local machine. These are the information and test result we are passing. Let's modify this test result a bit. And we are putting the information about the assertion. Click on the submit button, then we are putting a login test dot info verify home page title. What we are doing that once we will successfully log in, what I need to do, I will verify my home page title. Right now we are just putting the information step, but actually this is going to be a test case. So whenever you will be generating the login test case, you will enter the username, enter the password, click on the submit button, right? It will render you on the home page. So what you will do, you will verify the title that on which particular page the request got rendered. And if that is the home page, it means the test case is successful. And if that is not the home page, then it means the test case got failure. And let's suppose over here we are putting login test or fail. And over here we are passing validation, right? We are just putting a failure message like validation failure. And let's suppose we are actually failing the TestNG test case using the assert. So assert, let's put the assert, import the assert from the TestNG. Please make sure you are importing the assert from the TestNG, not from the extent report util, right? And then put assert equals. So what assert equals will do? It will verify the actual value and the expected value. So let's put some string over here and some string over. Let's suppose my actual value is Facebook login and my expected value is Facebook homepage. Right, so this is going to be a actual failure in your test case. This assertion will be failed. After then we are passing the test case. You can mention the test dot fail and test failure, and then we are going to flush the report. This is the basic test case, right? Right now we are just putting the log statement, but whenever you are implementing the test case using the Selenium and TestNG, you will be implementing the similar kind of flow, right? There is no change. What we will do, we will delete my report from here. I will delete the existing report and I will execute my test case one more time. Run as TestNG test. You see, the test got failed. If I will expand this, then what we are getting? We are getting extent report login test got failed. It is saying the expected is Facebook home page but found Facebook login as per my assertion what I mentioned over here. This is the actual value and this is the expected value. So what is happening? If you will refresh your web page or your projects, then index.html file is not creating. It means your test got failed, but extent report is not got created. What do you think? What should be the reason? Why the extent report not created in this particular case? And that is going to be the actual test scenario. Actually, whenever you will be implementing the test case, you are not going to just put the log statement on the extent object or extent test object. No, we are going to put the test code, and test code may be fail or it may be passed. That's a dynamic code. So does it mean that whenever my test case will be failed, I will not be able to generate the report or it will not be able to generate the report? Is that the case? Right now, it seems like the case that whenever the test will fail, it will not generate the report. But do you see why it is not generating the report? The reason is very clear. Test case got failed at this particular line, line number 31. It means this particular code execution terminated at a same line. Right? This function execution terminated at this particular line as soon as this particular line got failed. It means this particular line and this line is not executed. And if extent.flush is not executed, the report is not got created. So this is the real life problem you will face whenever you will start using the extent report with the test engine. Then what could be the solution of such kind of problems? Let's see what could be the solution. So in the TestNG, you will have the before method annotation, and you also have the after method annotation. We have imported the before method and after method annotations from the TestNG. Now in the TestNG lectures, we have seen a very clear cut use of the before method and the after method. Let's suppose we are declaring few function in a before method, and whatever we will declare within the before method, before each test method, that function will be called. So let's create public void init. Simple. And similarly, we are declaring the another function in the after method, public void quit. Simple. So we have the before method, we have the after method, and we have the test method. And in the init, what I will do, I will copy this complete code and paste it here in the after method. Let's format this. I will format this code again, and I will paste this particular code over here in the before method. We will format this code later. And what I will do in the after method, so whenever my test got completed, what I need to do, I need to flush the report. So I will remove it from here and put it here. Now you see we are getting a few errors. The error on the extent object, because earlier we was creating the object within the same function and we are using the object within the same function. But right now we are creating the object in a different function and using it in a different function. What I need to do, I need to declare this at a global level. So I will declare it at a class level like this. It means we will remove it from here. And on the similar way, I will declare this particular thing as well as a global level like this. And I will remove it from here. You see, error is gone. So what we are achieving by this particular thing? So we are achieving a thing like within the before method, the init is being called. It means every time whenever I will execute a test case, this init will be initialized and this init will be executed before the test case. So whenever the test will start, before the starting of the test case, it will initialize your object of the extent report and the extent spark reporter, right? And it will set the context. It means I can remove these things from here. And within my test case, I'm just putting the test steps, right? And once my test case will complete, the after method will execute and it will flush the report within the extent object, whatever the object got created. If I will save this particular report and I will execute this, run as TestNG test. So you see the failure is here, right? It again failed due to the same reason. But this time, if you will refresh your project, you see the index.html got created. Let's open this file and you see we are getting the test failed. What are the steps we are getting? Passing username, passing password, click on the submit button, verify the home page title. These steps. And last line we are getting validation failure. See, validation failure. The spelling is a spelling mistake. Please ignore it. We are getting the failure step. And after that, we didn't get this particular step, test failure. No, there's no print for the test failure. Why? Because the code terminated at this particular statement itself. Right. So earlier, due to this, the report was not creating. But right now, as soon as you will refactor your code into the before method, after method, and the test, the report generation will be started. So this is the first thing we need to learn, that we cannot create a separate extent report for each test case. And if we are doing this way, then whenever the test will fail, my report will not be generated. So this is the one way we can generate the report. It doesn't matter that my test case is failing or my test case is passing. So very first thing is, it doesn't matter that my test case is failing or is it success. Report will generate every time. My test report function, the initialization and the ending of my test report is not dependent on the test execution. Right, test execution is basically a separate activity right now. Let's put Control A, Control Shift F, format this code. Correct, we have formatted the code. So that's all for the day. In the upcoming lectures, we will see a few more challenges and how we can remove these challenges. So thank you, team. See you next time.